This 1970 BMW 2800 CS left the factory before the 3-liter CSL existed, before BMW Motorsport existed, and decades before anyone installed a 3.6-liter M5 engine under its hood. That contradiction gives this car its voice. This CSL tribute history is not the story of one factory model. It's the story of 3 different BMW identities meeting in one machine. The original 2800 CS gave BMW a credible grand tourer. The later CSL turned the E9 shape into a racing symbol, and the S38 engine brought the character of a hand-built M5 into a body created for another age. This is Scholar of the Roads on Two Guys and a Ride. At the end of the 1960s, BMW had already proven it knew how to build sharp, compact sedans. The 2002 was helping create a new image for the company, one built around responsive handling and driver involvement. BMW still needed a coupe that reached higher. The earlier 2000C and 2000CS offered elegant proportions and a pillarless cabin. Their 4-cylinder engines limited their standing against faster European Grand Tours. BMW answered by stretching the nose, revising the front end, and installing its smooth M30 inline 6. Here's what changed in that moment. BMW moved from producing an interesting specialty coupe to building a serious flagship Grand Tourer. The 2800 CS gave the company a place beside established luxury names without copying their approach. Mercedes-Benz defined German luxury through space, isolation, and formal authority. The 280 SEL carried passengers with the confidence of an executive sedan. Porsche approached prestige from the opposite direction, using the compact rear-engine 911 to build a reputation around speed and competition. Alfa Romeo offered another answer through the lighter, smaller GTV. Its twin-cam character and Italian styling appealed to drivers who wanted immediacy. BMW chose to space between them. The 2800 CS offered rear seats, a proper trunk, wood trim, and long-distance comfort. It also kept rear-wheel drive, independent suspension, and a driving position that placed the owner at the center of the experience. So, what happens when a manufacturer refuses to choose between elegance and involvement? For BMW, the answer became a formula it would repeat for decades. The long hood was not a decoration. BMW needed the extra space for its inline 6, and that mechanical decision changed the entire personality of the coupe. Thin pillars surrounded a cabin with broad glass area, frameless windows lowered without a fixed center post, leaving the side of the car visually open. Quad headlights and the narrow twin-kidney grille tied the coupe to BMW's new 6 sedans, while the Hofmeister Kink gave the rear quarter a shape buyers could recognize at a glance. Karmann built the steel body in Rhine, West Germany. The construction allowed BMW to produce a low-volume specialty coupe without committing a major assembly line to it. That choice created elegance and complexity at the same time. The pillarless body looked light, although the structure carried more weight than racing demanded. Inside, you sat low behind a large steering wheel with the hood stretching ahead. Round gauges faced the driver, while wood trim across the dashboard gave the cabin a restrained sense of occasion. The glass area made the cabin feel open. You could see road edges surrounding traffic and the car's corners more clearly than in many later coupes. Long doors eased entry into the front seats and helped passengers reach the compact rear bench. The original 2.8-liter M30 produced about 170 horsepower in European specification. Twin carburetors fed a single overhead cam inline 6 known more for smoothness and flexibility than dynamic low-speed force. A 4-speed manual gave the driver the strongest connection to the engine. A 3-speed automatic leaned toward more comfort. Front disc brakes and rear drums reflected the car's road-going mission before later E9 models adopted more aggressive hardware. Independent competition teams saw potential in the E9 almost immediately. Alpina and Schnitzer developed race-prepared versions with more power, stronger chassis components, and competition intent. The problem was weight. The early 2800 CSs carried the structure and interior of an upscale road car. In touring car racing, power alone did not erase that disadvantage. The body that felt refined on the highway became a burden against lighter rivals. This is where the familiar version of the story starts to fall apart. The E9 did not begin as a perfect racing weapon. Its shortcomings helped force the next stage of its development. BMW's later response was the 3-liter CSL. Thinner steel, selected aluminum panels, reduced equipment, larger engines, and later aerodynamic additions changed the Coupe's role. The CSL was not simply a faster 2800 CS, it was an answer to lessons learned in competition. Most E9 buyers did not own stripped homologation cars. They drove steel-bodied CS and CSI coupes with full interiors, road equipment, and grand touring manners. History remembers the wings. The racing success of the 3-liter CSL reshaped the identity of every E9 that came before it. CSL stripes, flares, air dams, roof guides, and rear spoilers became visual shorthand for the entire series. That memory explains this tribute build. The car began as a 1970 2800 CS, not a factory CSL. Its present appearance draws from a version BMW had not yet created when the chassis was built. This distinction strengthens this story. You're not looking at a confused factory model, you're looking at an enthusiast interpretation of how BMW's grand touring and racing histories connect. The difference from the original M30 runs far deeper than displacement. The S38 uses dual overhead camshafts, 24 valves, electronic fuel injection, and 6 individual throttle bodies. In factory M5 form, it produced roughly 310 to 315 horsepower, depending on the market. BMW's early Grand Coupe now speaks with the mechanical voice of a letter M car. One body connects 2 generations of the company's inline-6 tradition. BMW produced the 2800 CS from late 1968 through early 1971. Published totals commonly place production near 6,283 cars, although archive information remains the best source for that exact figure. Survival tells another story. Complex Karman construction left seams, cavities, and layered panels vulnerable to corrosion. Many cars disappeared through rust, accidents, neglect, racing use, and, heavy modification. Shared mechanical knowledge helped owners keep engines and chassis systems alive. Model-specific glass, trim, body panels, woodwork, and brightwork proved harder to preserve. Modified examples such as this one show how owners kept the E9 relevant to later generations. They also make historical accuracy more important. CSL badges do not create CSL identity, and an S38 engine does not erase the car's 2800 CS origin. The 2800 CS established BMW's post-war Grand Coupe formula. The 3-liter CSL turned that shape into a touring car legend. The S38-powered M5 carried BMW's inline-6 performance identity into yet another generation. This tribute brings those stories together without pretending they happened at the same time. Its shape represents BMW before Motorsport became a division. Its CSL-inspired appearance reflects the racing reputation that later transformed the E9. Its M5 engine shows how enthusiasts connect separate chapters of one manufacturer's history through engineering. The familiar image is a winged competition coupe. The fuller record begins with a refined 4-seat Grand Tourer built to challenge German luxury, Italian style, and Porsche performance on BMW's own terms. That original decision survived. BMW continued the idea through the 6 Series, the 8 Series, and every later Grand Coupe that combined an inline-6, rear-wheel drive, elegance, and driver involvement. This has been Scholar of the Roads, where history meets horsepower and every mile tells a story. Please give us a like, hit that subscribe button, and leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching.